Ironside will not be seen tonight, so we may bring you the following special program.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners.
Hey, I just want to point something out. I'm starting to feel like Gilligan. I'm not Gilligan. I'm starting to feel like Marianne and the Professor with this opening. With this opening, it's like, and all the rest. Like,
it's fine. Well, you should feel honored because only the rest are the only survivors of the island now. So
no, Marianne's not a survivor. Marianne's
only Ginger now.
Only Ginger now.
Only Ginger.
Yeah.
So I feel like. It's season 2 now. Now they put Marianne and the Professor in the credits properly. So make that happen.
Did they colorize the first season of Gilligan? Because remember, it was black and white originally.
White. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if they had color then. They might not have.
No, I'm saying because
they colorized it.
They colorized. I know they colorized the first season of Genie.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and I thought they had also colorized the first season of Gilligan.
That was probably just a labor of love. Somebody looked at Barbara Eden and it's like, I got to color that. So
let me tell you,
I got to color that a lot.
Listen, I got a question. Are you preempting Ironsides every night now? Is that what's happening?
I am now. It is my mission to find more of those because that's the great thing on YouTube. There are so many old TV specials like that where, like, McMillan and wife will not be seen tonight. So I really want to find as many other weird kind of shows like that I can.
You should find the one that has the after school special opening on it because it's all of us.
Well, no, there's the old the wheel that used to go clockwise or counterclockwise for CBS, where it's like dun, 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 dun. I can find that one.
Here in New York, they had a great one for the ABC afternoon movie where it was like, you would come. I don't know if you remember this, Mike, but they would have the opening on the camera, and then it would pan out, and it was the guy on the camera, like sitting sideways on the camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy! Well, I gotta lay down now. You might just. Oh.
I know that was really old. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wayne, I don't want to get the Peacock because then you're getting into trademarks. So I'm a little afraid of doing trademarks.
And it's pea and cock too.
But then again, I don't know because I know
like peanut butter
Star Trek fan films that were supposedly like during the original series would use the NBC Peacock. But you can also get the following presentation is in living color on NBC.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, but Ed, when I got on a weird kick. This is like when your company has the holiday party after the holidays. This is like the holiday episode of And I was watching on Christmas Bob Hope special from like 1967, and that's where I got Ironside. So I'm like, I got to grab that.
Maybe you should get the test pattern because maybe we get more viewers that way and just show that for 2 hours.
That's hilarious.
Johnny, was it the Bob Hope special where he plays Jack Frost?
It was not. That's from the 80s. Or from either the 80s or the 90s. That's like near the end. So this was like 60 because I really want like 67, 68. Hey, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? How about those Beatles?
Yeah, he sucks.
I don't know.
I'll be Artie until Artie gets here. Yeah, he sucks, sir.
I'm never gonna watch that, sir.
I'm never gonna watch that ever.
And Sonny and I were watching The Nutcracker the other night.
And the part of Artie will be played by Scoot.
Exactly.
I like Franco's 84 he's got by his name. Is that a clue?
I don't know. No.
Well, I guess so. 84, exactly. Nice.
I guess he wants to talk about 84.
Still haven't watched it.
I haven't either. Me and you haven't watched it yet.
I've watched it.
I've heard so many like things. I'm like, yeah.
That should make you want to watch it, Johnny.
I know. You're right. I don't know why I can't motivate myself to watch it.
it's the 2.5 hours that really gets me. I just don't,
Yeah.
It was either Franco 84 or Franco Twitter, but I figured I'd be more upbeat tonight and go for the 84. So,
You're not banned from Twitter?
no.
That's right.
I'm stealing this from Andy Price, but this is almost as bad as when Mussolini was kicked off of MySpace. It's pretty bad.
I remember when that.
Wasn't that awesome that Andy was on yesterday?
Yeah, it was good.
We had him on the Star Trek Discovery show,
What?
and I haven't seen Andy since whenever the last. Did we see him in C2E2?
Wait, what are you talking about? Wait, what are you talking about?
We did a Star Trek Discovery review yesterday.
I must have lost my phone or something. I don't know. I guess. Wow.
We replaced you with Andy Price.
Gilligan will be played by Andy Price tonight.
Did you watch it? Did you finish?
I did watch it. I was thoroughly disappointed.
What? You love that show?
I'm never going to watch that, sir.
I do.
I don't blame you.
I did like the show, not love the show, but I was very disappointed with the season, and I was very disappointed with the season finale. So.
But I like Andy a lot. That guy's awesome.
Andy's hilarious.
Yeah, the price is right.
I like Andy and Mike, and a whole bunch of people came to my defense today because apparently I didn't know this, but I stole the idea of Dracula, and yeah, I stole the idea of Dracula, and it's copyright infringement, and I apologize in public to that guy. So I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Bram Stoker.
What did he call you? He called
FTG.
you like
I think he called me a
exactly.
moron.
FTG.
No, he called you like a no talented something hack, or like there was like 20 words streamed together of like how you're not talented.
Yeah.
Was this on social media?
I posted on Facebook. I thought I was being funny because it was actually an insight into my brain of how my brain works, and I thought it'd be funny to illustrate that on Facebook. So I said, "Hey, here's how my brain works," and I put down. I said something to someone about Dracula. I used to say Dracula, and I'm like, "Oh, it'd be fun to do a series about a cross-dressing vampire that only sucks blood while it's lip syncing." And then another part of my brain is like, no, that's already been done. That was Tom Cruise in the Lestat movie. And then another part of my brain is like, no, wait, it was Robert Batman from the Twilight movies. And then I started thinking about Kristen Stewart's teeth, and I'm like, oh, she's really pretty. And then I'm like, oh, I kind of like go on a date with Robert Batman too, just to, this is the jumble that's my brain all the time. So I figured I'd put it down. And this guy just out of nowhere comes in and just starts saying that I'm a no-talent hack for stealing the idea. And I'm like, well, it's not stealing the idea, first of all, because it's, it's public domain.
It is.
Was he joking?
And he's like, no, he was serious.
He was dead serious.
You can see it. I left it up on Facebook. It's great. You should go on there and just comment. He's still going at it with someone. He's still going at it with people from on that thread.
Scoot, you've been banned from Facebook? What'd you say?
Yeah. Yep.
What'd you say?
Just you don't want to know.
We love you, and
you're special.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Scoot's wife called everybody patriots.
Kendall.
Kendall said that?
Kendall said that.
Push Kendall.
Kendall
All I
push.
could think of was
Kendall
Johnny.
push. I know
I can only think of Johnny when my daughter was being born. Thanks to the nurse getting got her name wrong, called her Kendall like Johnny did.
I can only imagine when your daughter graduates high school and she's walking across that stage.
Yeah.
And way off in the distance, you'll hear, "Way to go, Kendall!"
I don't know who Chris Norton is. Well, I just named him.
Oh, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Wayne just said he was super serious. He was ridiculous. He went on and on about derivative works and copyright infringement, and it was like, guy, have you not been? I said to Franco in text, I was like, have you been under a rock for 100 years? There's been Dracula movies, television shows. I almost used the word that I should use publicly, but I said there's a million things about Dracula. What are you talking about? Like, this is a derivative work, like derivative idea. Like, he was even taking it seriously. Like, that Franco was actually being serious even. So I don't know. It was just
I don't know. I thought it was being funny, but apparently I'm a no talent derivative stealing hack. Who knew?
Well,
I wish you guys would have told me.
We already knew that.
Yeah, but I wish you would have told me. This way I could have been informed.
No.
Saying it for years.
Yeah,
we thought it was obvious.
Yeah, well, I have another question for you guys. You guys like the beard? What's happening here?
Yeah.
I haven't shaved in forever.
I like pink.
Yeah. Well, you see it right in the middle.
Yeah.
While I was in the hospital, I didn't shave.
Hold on, Johnny. When we're off the air, I'll show you a phone hack. Never mind. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I was just gonna say I didn't shave for a week while I was in the hospital, and if I wanted to grow out my beard, I am totally Kenny Rogers. Totally gray beard. Totally gray beard.
With all that black hair you got on your head, and your beard is totally gray.
What do you mean the hospital? When were you in the hospital?
Oh, and it's okay, Mike. I'm okay, but I always have the worst luck around the holidays. I got my leg infection a week before Christmas back in 2018.
Right.
And now this time, I thought I had COVID. Actually, it's good. Real fast. Thought I had COVID. Was having trouble breathing. With a mask especially. And so I got a COVID test. Came up negative. I'm like, well, maybe I got walking pneumonia or something like that. Right. And obviously you don't want to go to the hospital in these conditions. But so I went, and I had a minor heart episode.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I know. But I'm okay. I'm on. In fact, you can't see him, but off camera, I got my stack of medication that I had to take, and things are much better. I had fluid collecting between my lung and my heart, and that's what was messing me up. Couldn't breathe, slowing me down. But I'm much, much better, and I'm taking care of myself, and I'm eating better, and I will lose the mailbox physique and get back to my fighting weight. So I'll be okay.
Brother, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to know.
You'll do it, Benny.
I'm not on the social, so I'm so out of touch usually. And every once in a while I pop on, and like Franco even had to text me about this guy, and I was like, oh, now I'll look. But I'm never on social media, so I don't.
It's okay. And then truly, everybody, thank you.
I would have checked in on you.
All the I Like Pink people were concerned, so thank you very much. And truly, I was embarrassed. I mean, I just wasn't taking care of myself. But I swear I'm okay. And the only reason why I brought it up on social media was I was going to host a drink and draw last week for Hero Initiative, and I was in the hospital, so I couldn't do it. So I had to have one of the other mainframe guys pinch hit for me.
Wow. We're glad you're back, Johnny. But in all fairness, Mike, today I was going to text you about Johnny being in the hospital, but then I turned it about me.
Nobody told me.
Yeah, no, that post really got to me, so I figured I should cover that ground instead.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Andy,
there he is.
Look, he's got a 7 of 9 avatar. I love it. That's fantastic. Andy, you were hilarious last night.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Thank you for replacing me, Andy. I appreciate it. I was busy doing nothing, but because nobody.
I was going to call you and tell you to come on the Discovery discussion, but then I texted Andy instead, so I forgot.
Yes. It's okay. Right. In all reality, Andy is much funnier than I am, and that's a truth.
Well, I might still. I mean, and my hatred of Star Trek goes on and on, much like what's her face singing Titanic. But
Celine Dion.
Yes, Celine Dion. Thank you. Because like Larry Young, John Price, a couple other Facebook and comic friends. We got to get our hatred out. Cully Hamner. And actually, Mike, you'd be good with because Johnny Lehman, the great John Lehman of Chew and Wildstorm fame.
Yeah, sure, love him.
John loves Star Trek, and I don't mind having a discussion with haters and lovers.
He loves Star Trek, or he loves Discovery.
He loves all Star Trek, and he's one of those fans that's like, listen, is it great? No, but I'm just happy Star Trek's back.
Which I am too. And
I understand. I get that.
This season got harder and harder as it went along.
That's what she said.
Everybody crying.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if it was this. I don't know if it was the finale or the episode before where it was like Book was blatant, like there is no one else who can save the universe but Michael Burnham. I was like, are you kidding? Are you shitting me? Did you just?
Well, and Tilly too. Michael's coming to save us.
Yes. Oh, and then today when she was like, I don't believe today. In the last episode when she was like, I don't believe in the no end scenario. I was like, you're kidding me. She didn't just say that.
That's where Spock got it from.
I wish people would talk about me like they talk about Michael Burnham.
It was like in Galaxy Quest.
Really, that dude hates you as much as
when what's his face?
I just saw Galaxy Quest. I showed it to my son for the first time the other day.
Oh, that's awesome! When Alan
Rickman
saves the Commander saved us, and it's not.
It's so good.
I love those guys.
One of the true travesties of the entertainment world is there was not a Galaxy Quest 2.
Yeah.
Yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Maybe. You never know.
You know, I still haven't seen that documentary about Galaxy Quest.
There's a documentary about Galaxy Quest?
Yes.
What is this?
Yeah.
I need to
Sounds like none of us saw it.
I'm sure somebody and I, like Pinkle, know the title of the Galaxy Quest doc. While we're on the subject of documentaries, if I may, because, again, this is stuff that Artie will never watch. My God, I've seen a ton of great ones, especially music documentaries. And Netflix has a great Clive Davis documentary.
I saw it. It was great.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. So interesting. But then Showtime, if you have Showtime, great one about the Go-Go's.
Oh, no, I don't.
Amazing one about it, especially and the LA punk scene of the late 70s, early 80s. But all about the Go-Go's. Great Motown one. The Bee Gees one on HBO was amazing.
Fantastic, yeah.
I love the Elvis one on HBO too. I'm like 1/3 of the way through it, but it's really good.
It's the guy that's a couple years old, but they were running it today because of course it's Elvis's birthday, man.
Yeah,
how we doing, everybody?
Can I just say a word about the two uncultured swines below us that haven't watched any documentaries because they're not piping in at all.
I watch them all the time.
May I? There is a great Sinatra documentary on Netflix. Johnny, we talked about that. It was originally on HBO, and it's pretty excellent. I watched
All
that.
or Nothing is that, and the guy who made the Elvis one, Alex Gibney, also made the Sinatra one. Never Surrender is the Galaxy Quest doc.
Oh, Andy says it's a Joan Jett doc. I'd love to see that.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Oh, the film. That's the movie with Kristen Stewart and Dakota Fanning.
Oh, I don't think I know what you're speaking of.
Is it? I don't think it's Bad Reputation. I think it's called something else.
Or maybe I'm confusing him, Andy. I don't know.
Runaways.
That's it. Runaways. I've seen that. I've seen that movie. Yeah. Again,
I don't give a damn about my bad reputation.
Right. The only reason I saw that was again, Kristen Stewart's teeth.
Does she have messed up teeth?
No, she's got beautiful teeth. I love them. That's why. That's what attracted me to her in the first place.
My hospital roommate, when I came in, was watching MTV and he was watching the Twilight movies.
Where's he from, John?
He was from the Czech Republic. He was a really nice guy.
You were doing an accent when you were telling me about him.
He's like, yes, I'm watching the Twilight movies. I'm like,
are you Facebook friends now?
Well, I figured if he's watching the Twilight movies, he maybe likes other nerd stuff. And I'm like, do you like the superhero movies? He's like, my wife likes the Marvel movies very much. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Very funny.
Is this guy? Go ahead, Scoot.
No, I was going to say it's funny. Sometimes I worked with this guy when I was in college. We worked at Wendy's, and he was from Africa, and he loved Backstreet Boys. So, but to him, it was just like, I love Backstreet Boys. And I'm like, oh, cool. But I'm like,
let me ask you a question, Johnny. Your hospital roommate, was he a shoemaker?
Oh, Mr. Tarantula. He was not. Very nice guy. Really funny guy. Poor guy had he was a construction guy and had like massive back issues. So he's like creeping to the bathroom like Igor. And I'm like, I don't know why the hell I'm here, but I can't breathe.
Igor.
So, exactly. So crazy stuff, man. Well, wait a minute. Mario, what did you say? If we could buy Bad Earth Tilly with Kristen Stewart's teeth, Franco?
Oh, come on. Hot.
Well, you I knew that.
Oh yeah, the Tilly, the Bad Earth Tilly. Yeah.
That's Franco's secret fetishes.
The Bad Earth Tilly.
Oh yeah. Not the regular one. The Bad Earth Tilly.
She's got to have straight hair, and she's got to be in something really tight.
I can see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wayne finding the Canadian documentary. Susie Quattro has a documentary. Susie Q.
Oh, see, that's what I'm calling. That's what I'm calling Tilly from now on. The Bad Earth Tilly. I'm calling her Susie Q. Yeah.
Isn't Susie Quattro? Isn't that Leather Tuscadero, or am I getting it wrong?
Was she pinky or leather?
Pinky was Roz Kelly.
She's one of those Tuscadero.
Leather's the one that.
She's the younger, whatever the younger Tuscadero was. Which
yes.
I'm pretty sure there's 4 of them.
Tuscadero.
Susie Quattro.
She would flop her hip and then she'd point.
Yes. Yeah. Pinky was the original one.
It was only one hand, wasn't it?
Was it one hand? I don't remember.
I remember watching it. They showed it on his documentary. Arthur Ashe, I forget what major tennis event he was on. And he's like, we're going to wrap this up soon. I got to get home and watch Fonzie and Pinky Tuscadero. And everybody started laughing.
I love it.
Yes, Susie was leather. Yes, thank you, Andy. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Stumbling In. I remember her big hit.
Oh, damn. I wish.
Foolishly laying our cards on the table, Stumbling In.
I got for Christmas. I should have wore it because you guys would appreciate it. Most people
Susie
don't.
Quattro shirt?
No, Lori got me a T-shirt. It's Arnold's. And it's like Arnold's Drive-In, and it says all these, it has like.
I'm pretty sure you can't wear that. I'm pretty sure it's racist at this point.
Why not?
I'm pretty sure.
It doesn't say Mitsuma Takahashi on it. It says Arnold's.
Last year, I was all about buying.
You know how many letters in Takahashi? That's the joke.
That's right. I was all about buying the ironic T-shirts like Arnold's Drive-In, and I got a ton of. I got a Water Buffalo T-shirt for the Flintstones.
Nice.
I saw a T-shirt that had a Obi-Wan inside of a heart. What you call it? Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan, and he's in a heart, and it says, "I am the Obi-Wan for you."
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this T-shirt. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Who are those guys?
That's a good one. I gotta get one of them.
Each of their faces is on your nipples. I find that interesting.
I like it.
Product placement.
I go like this a lot against his chest.
You know what? There is no memorabilia or merchandise for, which is very disturbing to me. Nostalgia-wise, Barney Miller, nothing, no T-shirts, no nothing. You can't get nothing. Barney Miller.
That guy's still posting on my post to people.
Is
still.
He?
Yes.
You're a better man than I would have blocked that dude a long time ago.
Can I get a Barney Miller Ron Glass temporary tattoo? Can they make that, please?
Yes.
I'd wear that.
I would totally wear that.
I would still have that air freshener in my car.
Blood on the badge.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what you need to get is a mock-up of the book and have it be blood on the badge. That'd be great.
Nice.
Because that's obviously, I love how clever a lot of these T-shirt makers are, and they get these like innocuous quotes from movies and TV, and that would be the one, blood on the badge. You mock up the cover.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Make it look like a Joseph Wambaugh kind of police book.
The only thing is most of the audience that would appreciate it are dying.
Abe Vigoda was on that program, wasn't he?
Abe Vigoda, yeah.
Hello, Barney.
Fish. He had a spinoff.
Of course he did. Yes, he did.
2 seasons of Fish.
Mm-hmm.
I met him at a show out here in New Jersey a few years back.
Oh.
Wayne, we still don't know, Wayne. We still don't know. Hold on, but I'll take it out for old times.
I don't want to know who sent this to you. I don't want to know who sent it to you until I'm on my deathbed. Hopefully, in like 200 years. I want somebody to come up and whisper,
"It's
me."
It's going to be like John Adams and Thomas Jefferson on their deathbeds.
I think it's going to actually be the reverse. I'm calling you out right now, Franco. On your deathbed, you're going to be like, "It was me. I sent it."
No.
I don't know. Everyone denies it. Everyone denies it.
It wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't me. I'm in everyone's dreams, but it wasn't me.
And now I'm regretting having put up Wayne's comment.
You want me to tell that story? I'll tell it.
Please, yeah, do it. Yeah.
So very oddly, it's an odd story. Okay. So this morning, we get up. I go down to the kitchen. I'm starting to do whatever I'm doing, breakfast, do the dishes, fill the dishwasher, whatever. And my wife comes in and she goes, "Have you spoken to Franco lately?" And I'm like, I texted him a couple of days ago. We spoke to text. She's like, "Is he okay? Is everything okay with him?" I was like, "Oh, I guess so. The last time I spoke to him, everything was okay." I go, "Why?" She goes, "I had a dream about him last night." I go, "You what?" I go, "Well, before you tell me what you dreamed about, crazily enough, I had a dream about Franco last night. Also." So both of us in the same night had a dream about Franco.
Now listen. Both of them lying together in the same bed, but separately had a dream about me.
It's true. It's very true. I can't lie.
Given that Andy's still hanging out, Andy, if you're watching, I just sent you a link. If you want to join us.
Come on.
We're going to have to get rid of Mike.
I got to go then.
No, we can have 10 people on, technically.
They can't.
We got to get rid. No, we got to get rid of Mike.
They can't be on in the same place at the same time.
Me and Andy Price are like Clark Kent and Superman.
Andy Price is a big fan of MASH.
MASH.
So anyhow,
that reminds me. But go ahead, and then we'll do it.
So Lori says her story is like. So I was like, "What was your dream?" And she's like, "Well, he was very upset. He was under a lot of stress about something, and he was, and I just felt worried about him, like something was wrong, and he was telling me how upset he was, and how things were hard for him at school, and this and that, and blah blah blah." And she was like, "It just didn't feel right. Something feels wrong. I'm worried." And I'm like, "All right, I'll touch base with him today." And she goes, "What was your dream?" I go, "Well, I don't want to tell you." She goes, "Well, I told you mine. What you got to tell me yours?" I go, "Well, me and Frank were laying on the couch together."
We're doing each other.
No, we were laying on the couch together, but not like spooning. We were laying on like two lazy boys on the ends of the couches. We were watching a movie. I don't know what movie we were watching. I couldn't tell you, but we were both like falling asleep. What happened? I don't know.
Can I just point out?
What happened? Can
I just point out in his wife's dream, I'm crying. And in his dream, I'm on the couch with him. So technically, they both had wet dreams about me.
All right. With that comment, I'm going to separate you guys and move you guys. There we go.
Wow.
I don't know if that worked out everybody's set, but they were next to each other on my view. They're not anymore.
Yep.
So
Dreams of Franco. That's a new segment on the All Yeah podcast.
As Wayne says, get out of my dreams. Get into my car.
Get onto my couch.
Billy Ocean.
Yeah.
Caribbean Queen.
Spartacus.
Yep.
I don't know what we're watching, but whatever it was, we were obviously bored by it. Maybe it was Wonder Woman 84.
So Skoke and I were talking when I was in the hospital, mentioning Jamie Farr and MASH and Star Trek, and we were saying that we should make Jamie Farr a Star Trek. We've done it before, but instead of just Jamie Farr being on Star Trek, we should have Worf be a Klingeron.
That would be great.
Captains, please.
We should get another Jamie Farr cameo and ask him if he was ever on Star Trek or could have been on Star Trek.
I never did Star Trek, but I did make a couple programs. I made a movie of the week with Zulu and Chekhov.
But I did reach out to a friend of mine, Mr. Leonard Nimoy. I found out he has since passed, but I reached out to him anyway, and his wife told me a great story, and he just keeps going on a tangent.
Like the Jerry Lewis story about parking his car.
Yeah.
My wife and I, we parked at an incline. We had to walk 5 miles anyway. We got
to show that Jamie Farr video again. But I'm amazed that he did all that in the video, because I saw one recently that someone posted. I want to say actress. I don't know if I have her name right. Lynn Whitfield, maybe. I can't remember who it was, but posted a happy birthday to someone, and literally the video was, "Oh, hi, John. Someone told me it was your birthday. Happy birthday," and that was it. That was the whole cameo video, and I'm like,
I forgot who it was. I saw one very similar. It was a dude He was wearing sunglasses, and he was just like, "Hey man, I guess it's your birthday. So happy birthday, I guess." And that's all I got. And then you see him reach his clicker. I was like, wow, that was awful.
You get your money's worth with Klinger. That's what I'm
You
saying.
can watch the Chevy Chases on there from time to time, and you can watch his cameo samples. They're real bad, and they're only like 2 minutes, a minute long. He just says like, "Happy birthday," and he doesn't care. He's just doing it to get it over with.
How much does he charge? I bet he charges a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot, and he's only on there like once in a while. He'll have like a star next to his name. It's like he's available now.
When the car payment is due.
Exactly.
Curly's grandson, Curly G, is up to $40 now.
Is that
Started at 15. He started at 15. He's up to 40.
Is he
I
up
don't
to
know why
40?
I keep checking. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Popular.
No, wait, no. This is fascinating to me. Has it been an incremental increase, or did it just go to 40?
Yeah, I don't know why I know this, but yeah, it started at 15, then it jumped up to 25, then it went to 30. Now it's up at 40.
Wow.
Last time I checked, which was about 2 weeks ago.
Andy, repeating, if you're watching, there he is. I was going to say, come join us, buddy.
Because I was
Coming
gonna
on.
say-
He's here,
There he is.
ladies and gentlemen.
There.
Yay!
Welcome.
Oh, and
welcome.
Cat's here too. Yay!
I think that's is here. Very good.
I was gonna say that's awesome because at $15, someone said, "Hey, can you do a dirty one of these for me?" He goes, "That's it. I'm raising my price," and he's going to 25. And then someone asked him to do like a talk about something else. Like, no, I'm doing 30. So now I want to know why he's up to 40. I need to.
Oh,
know.
the
He must be
cameo.
really dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah, Curly G.
Curly G.
He's
is
not
Curly
wearing
Curly of the Three Stooges' grandson. And it's like lamer than lame. And he tries to do a Curly imitation, and it's horrible. His eyes kind of look like Curly's, kind of. Very
But
weird.
he goes in and out of it. He's like, "Hey, this is Curly G." Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, seriously, I want to wish you a happy birthday. He does that.
That's
Yeah,
exactly.
it's like half Curly imitation, half Jerry Lewis telethon. But seriously, it's such a worthy cause. Please join us. And it's like,
My wife last year for my birthday got one from Jamie Farr, and it was like you said, it was kind of like, "Hey, happy birthday, gotta go." I like MASH too, and then she also got me one from John Noble because we're big Fringe fans, and John Noble talked to me for about 7 minutes.
Wow,
that's great.
It was fabulous. She said Jamie Farr got back to her in like a day, and John Noble got back to her like almost a month later. It took him forever, but he
Worth the wait.
talked forever. He told anecdotes about backstage, and it was like having a conversation with him. It was
that's so cool. If you have that available, I'd love for you to send it to me. I'm a huge Fringe guy.
I'll dig that
love,
up for you.
love John Noble. Did you ever get a chance to meet him when he was on the circuit? He did a couple of shows, including New York Comic Con one year. Really nice dude.
Waited in line at Dragon Con to see him, and we were the next in line, and they cut us off.
Oh,
So we never got to meet him.
oh, that sucks.
I don't have it on our platform here, but Jamie Farr did one for our podcast, Andy, and he did a great one because he's a massive comic book fan.
He talked for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Art, really?
yeah.
I never knew that.
Neither did we. It was a surprise.
We kind of lucked into it. We just innocently said, "Hey, do you like us?" "Oh, you got the right guy. I'm a big comic book fan," and it was hilarious.
He brought
The
up
original,
coffee
we were
table
going to do
book.
it because I'm from Toledo, so we threw that in there, and we thought that would be the thing that would keep him going, but it was the comic books that kept him going.
He had the Jules Pfeiffer Comic Book Heroes book,
Yeah.
and he had another big collection. But he was name dropping Spy Master and Hawkman. And we were because he's the Spectre, as far as his favorite characters, and we were just like,
Yeah, it was awesome.
Can
That's
I
incredible.
make an observation and a suggestion, Johnny? because Juno, Andy's cat, is a
Yes.
lot more entertaining than Scoot. Can we get him? Can we get Juno a separate square and get rid of Scoot?
Hell, I'm trying to get work done.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, wow.
I got Gilbert.
Yeah. If you guys have not done Gilbert Gottfried's podcast, it is phenomenal.
I heard it's great. Yeah.
Skoke and I listen every week.
He is a unending font of Hollywood trivia. And
I
he-
heard.
he's on there that he's doing,
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I
Oh,
heard that
gee.
Albert Decker was found dead.
Lisa Romero.
Yes.
He would gather these boy toys and they would throw orange wedges at his ass.
Blatant Geekery wants to know what you're making today, Scoot.
Oh,
I'm working on a
thank you.
comic with Dave Scheid for Oni that hasn't been released yet.
Nice.
But I'm trying to get it done because I got other stuff I need to do.
Can I say an exclusive thing?
Yeah.
There's no, you don't have to single me out. Please don't. There's rumors that I'm working currently on a book, and someone in one of these squares is working on that book with me.
Dracula?
It's him. Yes,
Leonard?
It's Andy.
it is me.
Is it Eddie?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't tell you what it is.
What's the page, Andy? You over here?
I already know it's Dracula. You don't know.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a page from Detective Comics. It's Don Newton, who was
That's great.
Yeah, he was my all-time favorite Batman.
Big fan.
So it is the one page of his I've managed to get my hands on. I made the mistake of introducing an art collector to his work. And
Oh,
everything I've tried to get since has been bought up by this guy.
Oh,
Bummer.
yeah, see? That's why you don't be nice to people. I'm never nice to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, man. No, Don Newton's amazing. Also, great Phantom artist.
Oh God, yes. Phantom stuff was incredible. And is it Stuart Ing Books has done a hardcover collection of the Phantom?
Hmm.
oh wow.
Somebody has.
I was talking to Ron V, the Indian writer that currently is doing a lot of DC work, and it blew my mind. He's a great guy. He name checked the cartoon, The Phantom 2040.
Oh,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
that dude's not that old to remember that card.
That's why I'm like, Rob, I'm so excited that you know that show. It was
Wow.
hilarious. So good dude, really good dude. I like Rom a lot.
Since we're speaking about veteran creators, moment of silence. Steve Lido passed away.
Yeah, I know. That's sad today. My God.
Very sad. He's my favorite Legion artist, and I'm one of the few people in the industry that I never got a chance to meet. He never came to my shows. He really didn't travel very much. So very, very heartbreaking to hear he passed away so young.
Yeah, he was the Legion.
Absolutely.
Yes, that is the QMX Spock.
Oh, that's okay. There you go. Is that the name of the company, QMX?
QMX.
What kind of socks is he wearing, though?
It's a very good Leonard Nimoy.
He looks good.
They did.
He's wearing a T-shirt underneath.
Oh, yeah.
The black T-shirt.
We don't want to see any Vulcan nipples, or do we?
Vickles, if you will.
Nipple pinch.
Little known fact, they have green nipples. Vulcans have green nipples.
Vulcan titty twister. That's another maneuver that the Vulcans would do. Hey. Bastard Spock! You gave me another Vulcan titty twister.
Did they show that on Discovery, Johnny?
You twist a titty in the...
Yeah, Michael Burnham perfected the Vulcan titty twister.
He invented it.
I learned this from myself.
Change the Vulcan's accent. It's like tuning in.
Cybok was a big practitioner. Lawrence Luckenbill. Come on, Spock.
I don't know if I ever told Andy this, but Lawrence Luckenbill used to come into my family's restaurant all the time, so I would talk to him like almost every other week.
And demand Cybok stories.
Yeah.
Who's he married again? Somebody big, right? Who's he married?
Lucy Arnaz. Lucy
Yes,
Arnaz, Lucy's daughter. Yeah.
He's got some Desi Lou money.
Lucy Arnaz was amazing in Neil Diamond's The Jazz Singer.
Yeah.
Being ironic, but I do love her in that thing.
Yeah. She's no Mirror Universe Tilly, but yeah.
Who really is?
She's the subject of "Hello, My Friend, Hello."
Yeah.
That fine Neil Diamond song. That's in one of my favorite throwaway comedies, Saving Silverman, with Jason Biggs and
Amanda Peet.
Exactly. Hello.
I don't know what it is about Amanda Peet, but I loved her in Brockmire. I loved her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Wayne says it's hard to get Don Newton Batman pages. I only have one of his. Wow, inked by Alfredo Alcala. I love that guy.
And as much I love Alcala, I hate his inks on Newton because he took over Newton's pencils.
Controversy.
Believe it or not, there's a Newton fan community, and that's a big debate. You're either on the Alcala side or you're not. And yeah, it's harder to get his pages that are not Alcala. They've been snatched up more. They're harder to find.
Sure. Yeah. Sienkiewicz is that kind of inker as well. Well, depending on who he's inking. Because when he inks Neil Adams, he's respectful. But and I liked it when he inked Norton on Green Arrow. It was something completely different. It wasn't Sienkiewicz. It wasn't Norton.
But you can see Sienkiewicz's hand. He's kind of heavy-handed when he inks.
Yeah,
I actually like it because that's why you bring him in, is to kind of get that style out of it. You know what you're getting into when you bring him in.
Yes,
it's like when you get Kevin Nolan to ink somebody else. You're going to get a Nolan overlay on whoever it is. I think the best combination is Garcia Lopez and Kevin Nolan.
I love Garcia Lopez.
Amazing.
That's true.
Well, it really take a lot of effort and energy to make Garcia Lopez look bad.
I read that's true. I read a story recently. Is it true about Sienkiewicz being held or talked to by the FBI?
Yeah,
the FBI. Yeah, is that true?
I've heard that story from him before. Yeah.
I
never knew that story.
He actually just recounted the story himself.
That's where I read it.
Oh, okay.
Probably. It was posted over and over again on social media, I think, right?
Yeah, because they came to his house, I guess, early morning, and he was just wearing a pair of sweatpants. And when he introduced them he brought them into the house. He turned around to get a chair in his studio, and his sweatpants fell down. So he mooned the FBI. And that was where they kind of realized, okay, this guy is not a threat.
I love this.
Or maybe he is a threat.
It's like, well, clearly he has no concealed weapons.
Maybe his hands and other appendages are a weapon.
Yeah. And Sienkiewicz's butt is almost as famous as he is.
That gun picture, right?
That gun picture, yeah.
Other artists late last year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he did there was a reference pose that he did. He took
it was
a lot of photos
Frank Cho. It was a Frank Cho piece of art, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Woman. Yeah.
But this piece of
it wasn't Spider-Woman.
Turned around with a gun in his hand and he's stark naked.
Yeah.
And so everybody was drawing Sienkiewicz's ass.
Andy, please don't exaggerate. He is wearing black boots.
Like Tilly.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Like
I was just starting to calm down. I was just starting to calm down. But don't tell that guy on Facebook. He'll get mad at me, apparently.
Well, he should be mad at you for, I mean,
plagiarizing Dracula.
We all thought that you wrote Dracula. We all thought you had the copyright.
He's still commenting with people on there.
Oh my God.
He's going back and forth with this person on there now.
Hope he doesn't watch this.
Next thing you want to do a book based on Frankenstein or something.
Come on,
on who?
On Frankenstein.
No, that's stealing. It's derivative and stealing. Come on now.
Bastard. You bastard.
Andy, I currently have from the library a copy of Tales from of a Halloween Night Part 5. I haven't read it yet, but it's on my list. I have
okay.
it.
Those are I just got a script for, I guess the next one is number 7. Normally I write my own, but they asked me, the guy who works with Sandy King asked me if he would illustrate his first comic script. So I was like, yeah. It is such great fun to do because I'm such a big horror fan. I mean, I grew up reading like the DC horror comics, House of Mystery and Witching Hour and all of that. And that's kind of like what this book is. And it is just, they're just like, have fun. You want to do gore, do gore. You want to do ghosts, do whatever. And Sandy King is great. She is this little 5'0"
Ball of energy.
She's powerhouse. Yeah. She reminds me of like a blonde Carrie Fisher. She takes no shit.
None.
You know, if she loves you, she loves you. If she doesn't, she doesn't. She's been great to work with. It's been a great book to be involved in.
That's good to hear because people keep telling me I should have her on the podcast.
Definitely.
She is great. She's
This
great.
is John Carpenter's wife, Sandy.
Yes.
Yeah. Kat
Sandy was
Stevens to her, and we just immediately hit it off and talked for like an hour at New York Comic Con while she was signing stuff. She's like, "You want to do something for us?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to do something."
Cool.
Yeah, she'd be a phenomenal guest.
Good deal. Good to hear. Yeah, I when I got sick, I lost like 2 weeks of shows, so I'm behind. But I'll catch up. Hey, I'm talking to. We got to pre-record it because that's one of the reasons why. But I'm talking to a guy that talks like this. You might know who I'm imitating right now. I'm not doing Jackie Mason, but I'm a big fan of a lot of great artists and writers of the DC universe. So you might be able to figure out who I'm imitating.
Barney Rubble.
Hey, Fred, why don't we go to Earth 3 and talk to the crime syndicate and go get a Brontosaurus burger?
Why don't we go down to the beach and shoot some clams?
That was on last night on one of the streamers or one of the digital channels that runs Barney Miller. That's one of my favorites. Absolutely. Good stuff.
I thought you were doing Teddy from Bob's Burgers.
Oh, that's funny. No.
I love that show. Isn't that a good show?
Yeah, it is.
God, it's
And listen,
it has not lost its quality.
I'm the one guy that I'm like I can't get into it.
Trying to
And I get it.
watch it.
Clearly, I'm the one that's wrong because everybody loves it.
I'm like that with Rick and Morty. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried.
Really?
It does not hit the trigger. I can't.
I do like
I
Rick and
stare
Morty.
at it.
I am a Rick and Morty guy. Yeah. Good stuff. Very funny.
Oh, what else you got?
Hey,
Yeah,
I gotta apologize to Skoke for something actually.
Oh, damn it.
Oh man, that's not the
Like,
place.
we got to air our grievances. Go
Do
ahead.
that off the air.
It's Festivus. Go for it.
So this actually happened over the vacation break holidays, whatever the case may be.
Skoke, what did you do?
No, I'm apologizing to Skoke.
Oh,
He had a
okay.
dream.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm going to separate them.
We were on the couch. So
Thank you. Yes. Continue.
I dream about Andy too. I dream about all.
Well,
of
that's
them.
explainable.
There's no, all right, now I got to put him up here. All right.
Exactly. This is. I dream about Scoot. Like it's just there's no way around it.
Tell your story.
Anyhow, so
I
very,
like how his face just lit up.
so I don't know what prompted me to do this, but I needed to go through like some Facebook stuff. Again, everyone knows I'm not a social media guy by any stretch of the imagination. I'm very, very bad at it. But I had to do something on Facebook. And then like I saw a couple of friend requests. And it was like, oh, like I can't even remember the names, but it's like, oh, somebody had a friend request from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 20 weeks ago. I'm like, 20 weeks ago. So now I go onto Facebook on my computer because I want to really check this out. So I start scrolling through all the friend requests that I have. And some of them are like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And I'm like, oh, wow. Oh, ouch. Yikes. So sure enough, as I'm going through them, and I'm like, there's some people I'm like, oh, I feel a little cringy. Oh, God, I can't believe I didn't see this. And 68 weeks ago.
68.
Wow.
68 weeks ago. So I don't know if you noticed that I accepted it over the holiday. It was just kind of like,
oh yeah. I noticed.
68.
Thanks a lot.
You should have blocked them, Skoke.
Sorry.
I should have rejected it. I should have undid my invitation.
So I apologize.
Wow.
I don't think it's you. I'm bad with the social media.
I think that's more weeks than Dark Side on the Moon has been on the Rolling Stones album chart.
Yeah. my wife was actually very proud of me this week. I posted on all 3 social media platforms that I am a member of that I haven't done in probably years.
Wow, you guys have been locked up a long time.
I stay away from social media. It's like I don't watch the news because it's all horrifying to me.
That sounds healthy, actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
Skoke, were you every day like, when is he going to accept my friend request?
Well,
every day?
He would text me.
You thought about at night, like you went to bed?
I scheduled time once a day.
Without accepting my friend request.
But, I'm passive aggressive, so I didn't want to confront you about it. I don't like confrontation, so I didn't bring it up. So I'm glad you did.
Every night, every time of that certain time of day when Skoke has to take his constitutional, he's like, is it today? Is it today?
Is today the day? Is it today the day?
Nope. It's just.
But didn't it make it that much better when it was the day?
Oh, it was special.
Finally was the day. It was special, right?
I mean, it was special. Now it's when I don't have to check that off the list every day anymore.
Right, exactly.
It's checked off permanently.
A little thrill. It finally happened.
Now your soul is wandering. What do I do now? I've run out of things to do.
What do you do with that extra time now? I don't know.
I just keep pooping.
The 64-page bitter graphic novel with one last happy ending page.
Yeah. Yes.
That they run to each other across a media field
in slow motion.
Well, Michael, I'm the same way. Like I'm totally off social media, but I feel like I need to get back to it because it's a perfect example. Johnny was in the hospital. I had no idea because everyone uses but Johnny. Yes, I feel very bad about that. But the language of communication nowadays and community in general is all social media. Nobody picks up a phone anymore. Like nobody texts.
No.
Texting is even like one of those things that's kind of on the decline.
Artie and I talk to Jimmy the Muscle all the time because he's not a social media guy. And pre-COVID, for years, he's like, "Hey, they had a party at, Challengers or at, how come nobody called me?" And it's like, hi, welcome to the 21st century. Nobody calls anymore.
You just don't want him there because he's going to float a biscuit or something.
A sulfur biscuit, exactly.
I miss the muscle. Oh.
Johnny and Skoke, don't feel bad because Mike's still not friends with Scoot on Facebook. So
no,
he is.
I think I am.
Yeah, we're best friends, actually.
Besties. He's actually the only reson I go on social media to see what's up with Scoot.
I find out about friends having children on Facebook that I didn't know about. So that's how critical.
How many kids do you have out there, Skoke?
They're not mine. I don't think.
Oh, all right.
That you know.
That I'm aware of. I don't know. I don't think so.
It's actually it's awful in that I had a friend pass away, and they announced it on Facebook. Obviously, the family announced it on Facebook, and somebody had to text me. Somebody who knows me very well text me like, "I know you don't check Facebook. Charles passed away from COVID." And I was like, "What?" And then, of course, I go on. People text me to check. They're always like, "Check Facebook. You need to go on check Facebook." And I'm missing things that are happening, important things, and I need to be more diligent about being connected.
By the way, I forgive you.
I
just want that to be public.
That makes me feel a lot better.
I forgive you.
You didn't things like you didn't know that we were doing a Discovery talk last night. Things like that, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get the call.
That's all right. We got Andy in there. It's all right.
I know,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Andy did a much better job of it than I did anyway.
I just said bullshit about every 3 minutes, and
Exactly. He gave me a chance to just relax and observe. And he was great.
And Andy, they just like to yell at me, whatever it is, anyway. So I just give them the opportunity to give them a differing opinion, and then they scream at me that I'm wrong.
Hey, Mike, it got darker out. Fix that light. Sorry.
It's better. It's better.
Go do your song.
Oh yeah.
So we can change subjects. Because I'm not interested in this anymore.
Oh, you mean
Johnny
my
says he
Christmas
doesn't like the story.
my Christmas poem?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I've mentioned this before, but before I joined you guys on this podcast, I was a fan and a listener for many years. You guys have been doing this something like over 10 years, I think.
11 years.
Initially,
now. Really?
it's been a long time. They go that far back, and that's how long I've been listening. And here we are now. We're doing. Originally, it was audio only. Now we're doing a video. But what I created here is basically a love letter to this podcast. So this one goes out to all the fans out there, new and long existing. This is a "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" parody, and
You can't do that. That's copyright infringement.
oh great, are we? Is this going to get blocked in the middle of it?
as long as
Dracula.
it's not in
Yeah.
it, you should be.
It's
okay.
not Dracula. You're fine.
It's
not
derivative. You
Dracula.
can't do it.
That guy's going to get mad at me. Okay. So here we go. I don't have a good title for this. 'Twas the Oh Yeah Before Christmas.
Yeah. There you go.
Let's go with that. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the smoke, several creatures were stirring. One of them was Skoke. Art made custom Migos. Scoot Drew wrapped up too. And Franco was listening to Who's Zooming Who. My Goldblum shower curtain gave a sideways glance, and Nagin's high beams could be seen here to France. When out on the lawn, there arose such a throng. We all left our things to go see what was wrong. Away to the window, we ran like the flash, tore open the shutters like Klinger from MASH. Hey! The weather was cold and a little bit shady. I like Trump, I like Bush, and I like the lady. When what to my wondering eyes did entrance? A microphone, earbuds, and some floppy pants. I heard some impressions, some jokes, and some quips. I knew in a minute, hey, that's Yoko Chips. He was riding a sleigh drawn by people of fame, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Zaius, now Jamie Farr, and Montalban, now Gigantic Jeff, and a young Obi-Wan. To the top of the porch. Now we can't make a scene, so you and McGregor stop yelling, Kathleen! Ellen Moore, Gary Marshall, and Jimmy the Muscle. We ain't got all day, so let's give it some hustle. I heard a large crash on the roof overhead. They could have just come through the front door instead. Up above, Johnny looked at his team in attendance and said, quiet you, or you'll wake downstairs tenants. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney, Yoko Chips came with a bound. He smiled at us guys, thrilled to see us, and meant this, and gave a hello like Brian Michael Bendis. We left out some cookies, thought they'd be a winner, but when Johnny saw them, he said, that's not dinner. He spoke many words with his great head of hair, because the last thing he wanted to hear was dead air.
That's true.
I've got gifts for Art and you other four wackos. You're all getting peppers and pickles from Pacos.
Hey.
Yay.
But wait, that's not all. He reached into his sack and gave Art some gizzards from Harold's Chicken Shack. Art gave us his mantra, took a swig in another. No crying, no fighting, be nice to each other. For Franco, the Orville, but he did not clamor for this box set. Does it come with a hammer? Then he did his impression of the Chris Lambert from Highlander. What, are you going somewhere? Johnny gave Scoot a jar. I don't mean to be blunt, but swimming inside was, I think, of a jaunt. In his 3PO mask, Scoot asked, "Hey, what is this?" And Johnny replied, "He's the best in the business." Air freshener of Jazzy, Fresh Prince's DJ, Johnny gave to Mike Nagan to proudly display, next to his first one, who gave That's a Mystery. But now's not the time to go into that history. When it was my turn, Johnny looked with dismay. "There's a hole in my bag. Your gift flew away." I smiled at him warmly. "Fear not, don't you see? With all of you guys, I'm just happy to be."
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. Johnny ran for the chimney and gave us his love, but not before leaving behind just one glove. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team yelled some orders, as if he'd been shushed by that lady at Borders. He flew to the skies and sat nice and tall. Then he bowed to Lex Christ and waved to us all. And I heard Art exclaim, as morning was nigh, "I like pink much, Lois, and okay, bye-bye."
You did it.
There we go.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh my God.
Thank you.
welcome to Skoke's last show.
Now let's animate that. Let's animate all of that.
That is a mic drop. There you go, man.
You think you got every little thing on there.
That was awesome.
I think I covered
like
every single inside joke from the podcast for the past 10 years. I think it's all in
Yeah,
there.
Amazing.
that's
Amazing.
funny.
Missed the next 30 seconds after the
You
Jamie
need to-
Farr bit because I was laughing too hard.
You need to re-record that, and you need to be sitting by like a fire with an ascot, and we need to play it every holiday.
We need like a music box twinkling the way they do the Christmas songs.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Get some sleigh bells jingling.
A Jamie Farr picture over the mantle. It's amazing.
Do it in your bathroom with that shower
If
curtain.
you can get Jamie Farr to stand behind him dressed as Jacob Marley, he never has to say anything, just stand there.
Scrooge, hey,
Tacos.
I'm here to haunt you.
Andy, do you have MeTV?
I see.
No.
Because he does promos for
MASH.
all the different not only MASH but all the different reruns that they run, and and they put him in army fatigues and a little corporal hat. And hey, Andy Griffith, how you doing? Hey, Columbo.
Johnny, did you
I
see
got
the one
to
around
meet
Christmas where he was sitting there writing like Christmas cards and he's talking?
No.
Yeah, and he's talking about like up next is MASH, and then he does like a little bit about it. He was like writing cards though.
I got to meet him.
That was
in
incredible. Oh my God! I gotta say it one more time.
83.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening to my madness. You can tell I got some time on my hands.
That was excellent.
What the
I
hell?
noticed-
Vodka? What have you got?
What's that?
What have you
Vodka?
got there,
No,
Scott?
Oh, this is water. Believe
that's
it or
his
not,
signature drink.
Sure.
this is spring water. This has become a tradition. Every show, I bring on a jug of water and I drink it straight from the jug. Oh, what do we have here?
This
And then
is
after-
coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Coffee. Yes.
What is
And
it
then
on the
after-
mug, Andy?
Oh, it's Danny Elfman.
Oh, there you go.
It's a
Oh, nice.
Boingo reference.
Of course.
It's actually my wife's mug. She would throw me off a cliff and run over my dead body to get to him. Anybody that's married will tell you their wife has a list of people they will gladly abandon you for. And there's a couple people on
For
the list.
me, for my wife, that's everybody else in the world. But
Wow.
Apparently,
But-
Frank was on my wife's list.
But does your wife have dead people on her list above
She-
you?
She'd rather have sex
Because
with a
Vincent
dead person
Price has
than
been
you.
dead for over 30 years, and he's
Yeah.
like number 3 on her list.
Ooh, Andy, that's wonderful. Yes.
I was on the Brady Bunch once. I was.
Yes.
Oh, Oliver.
So
That's
wait, I
awesome.
need to know. I need to know. You need to come back on the show. Unless you know right now, you need to come back on the show and you need to go over this whole list. You
Yeah,
need
who's
to give
one
us
and two?
the top 10
Well, Danny Elfman is like he's probably number 1, 2, and 3. Weird Al is on the list above me. What's his name? Greasy guy from Avengers. Tom Hiddleston.
Okay, greasy guy from Avengers.
He always looks greasy to me. He always
puts
looks
that on
like
before he gets
if you
on
grabbed
screen.
him, he would squip out like a bar of soap. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't mean that bad, but
No. I like
I
that
see it.
description.
I
no,
absolutely see
he
it.
just looks greasy.
Yeah. Now I want to hold him.
Yeah, basically the cast of Avengers is on the list ahead of me. Who else? Vincent Price.
Right.
Vincent Price.
Bela Lugosi. There's another dead person on the list above me.
Nobody argued that one.
Yeah. No,
We're all stunned.
Well, he's copyright infringement, so she's not allowed to do him.
She's got to sign a waiver first.
But yeah,
Wow.
I'm on the list of 10, I'm probably like number 12. So,
Wow.
Wow.
Is Jeff Goldblum on that list by chance?
oh god, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there
But
you
Jamie Farr's on your list, right?
Well, yeah,
Fine.
just beneath Mike Farrell.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, huh.
Because of the BJ factor.
Yo,
Hey now.
I got to meet Jamie Farr at a MASH convention, and this was like '84, something like that. And it was Jamie Farr and McLean Stevenson and Larry Linville.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Who's the last one?
Larry
And
Linville.
they had set tents up. You know, here's like the autograph room and all of that. And Jamie Farr was like just great. He was wonderful. Larry Linville was the biggest sweetheart you could imagine. He was the polar opposite of Frank Burns. McLean Stevenson, on the other hand, was one of the biggest celebrity assholes
Really?
I've ever met in my life.
Hello, Larry.
Yeah, he was bitter. He didn't want to deal with anybody. He didn't want to deal with the fans.
Well, he did go down in a plane crash.
Yeah.
I got. That's interesting, Andy, because literally 10 years later, like right before he died, we had him on our sports radio station, and he went to Northwestern University and worked in the athletic department. And I have no idea why we got him, but he told the funniest stories about the football program and the basketball program at Northwestern, and we were crying laughing, and he was having a great time. And we're like, and I can't remember which season was happening when we had him on, but we're like, hey man, like if it was basketball, hey, you got to come back at football season and we'll talk more. And he died in the meantime, and we're all like, we're like, wow, we made a nice new friend, and he, so we caught him on a good day.
I'm sure it was the fact that everybody was shoving MASH down his throat, and he was constantly reminded of the fact that I made a mistake, that day, and I'm sure that's part of what it was.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
and Larry Linville came to Illinois State when I was there and did a one-man show, and everybody was blown away about how great he was, and he had great stories. Couldn't have been funnier.
He was. It's among the many groups I'm on is a MASH group, and the big consensus there is that he was probably the most underrated actor on the show.
I would agree with that.
He was comedy gold. He was the funniest drunk on the show.
Yeah.
But even the writers admitted later, they said they really did a disservice by not giving him
More to do.
more to do and a highlighted episode. And a question came up, the episode Hawkeye, the Alan Alda monologue episode where it's just him with the Korean family. If you guys remember that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody asked the question, okay, if it wasn't Alan Alda, who else would you put in a monologue episode? And I said Larry Linville in a heartbeat, because the writers could show a different side of Frank that the rest of the camp doesn't see,
Right.
and it's like a secret with the audience, with the viewer audience,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then he can go back to being the foil.
I like the one where he's teaching English to the Koreans. And he's like, get us out of the UN. Get us out of the UN. Do not contaminate our water with fluoridation.
And I used to think that Frank Burns was very much a cartoon until the last 4 years. And I've met a lot of Frank Burns. So
I'm a big MASH guy, but I don't think I know the reason why he left and he was replaced by Winchester. Like, what was the story?
Well,
like, I know McLean Stevenson thought he was bigger than MASH and left.
Yeah, Larry Linville felt that he had done as much as he could with the character, and they had separated him and Houlihan.
Right.
So he said, my partner on the show is no longer my partner. I'm
But
now
that was but that was a stroke of genius. Those were some of the funniest episodes when he was going crazy.
When he was pining out.
And behind the scenes, Linville was going through a bad divorce. And they actually, his last appearance on the show was when Margaret gets married and flies away. And that was his last episode. You don't actually see him leave the camp.
Right.
And they wanted to do an hour-long episode where Frank left. And they asked him to do it, and he said, I don't have it anymore. It's all gone. Everything, he was going through this bad divorce, and he said, that's where everything is. And he said, I think I just need to leave it the way it is.
Wow.
So,
Now, with McLean Stevenson, I had always heard, and maybe this was the PR version of why he left, but that because it was turning more into a drama, he felt out of his league and was more like, hey, I'm a comedian. I don't know if I can play in this world.
Which is a shame, because he did fine. One of the
that
episodes.
The one where Hawkeye's friend.
Between him and Hawkeye.
Right, that episode where Hawkeye's friend dies on the table.
Yeah. Right.
And he's like, if I knew what I was talking about, I'd be at the Mayo Clinic. Does this look like the Mayo Clinic? Yeah.
But he was also he always had a little bit of bitterness because he wanted to be Hawkeye. That's who he tried out for. And they're like, you're too old. He just wanted more, and he felt that, okay, well, now if I'm on the top of the game and MASH is taken off, then obviously I can do whatever I want. And we saw how many series failed, and that just
And as the legend goes, he supposedly was not very cordial in his departure from the series, and that's why they killed him off, is so that there was no chance of him even returning. That's what I've heard in multiple places.
It's interesting. The only actor in the show, other than McLean Stevenson, who knew that Henry Blake was going to be killed off, was Alan Alda. Okay. Everybody else got their pages the day of filming. And when they read it, Larry Linville was like, you son of a bitch, you're going down in history. And so a lot of the reactions that you see on the screen are real.
Right.
The background people didn't know what was going to happen. And Gary Berghoff's delivery was so strong. McLean Stevenson was off to the side, and he had to leave.
Wow.
He said he just turned around and he left. He missed his own goodbye party. The emotions were too much. He said, and he just went.
Wow.
Well,
I love hearing Larry Gilbert, and now he's no longer with us, but all the great archive interview footage of him talking about all that. I don't know if you know about him, Andy, that Archive of American Television.
Yeah. It's funny. The museum that's in New York, the television museum, anytime I try to go, it's like I'll try to hang around like the Monday after New York Comic Con, and they're closed on Mondays.
Oh.
So I never get to go.
That's one of the consistently funny shows throughout all the years it's been on. But also, one of the things that amazes me about MASH is every person they brought in to replace someone else was consistently good as well.
Yes.
And you have that very seldomly, like, in Cheers when Shelley Long left and they brought in Rebecca. It was good, but not there. Woody was great when they brought in Woody. But sometimes they replace like Ace the photographer. Like when they bring him in, it's like the death knell of the show. But not the show usually. The show would run, like Married with Children would run and stuff like that, but it's just not the same. It's not as good.
Yeah.
Even though it's good. But MASH is one of those shows that was just good all the way through with anybody that they brought in to replace.
Well, all those writers.
The writers are fantastic, and they made a point with each new character to make them something a little different, something a little unique.
Radar. What's on the hoo-ah?
David Ogden Stiers and McLean Stevenson, both Central Illinois guys. Johnny and I both spent part of our youths in Central Illinois.
That's right. Yeah, I loved when Henry Blake would say, "Boy, I bet that's going to be on the front page of the Bloomington Panagraph," and that really is the name of the Bloomington, Illinois newspaper.
Yeah.
So crazy stuff like that. Yeah.
They weren't the only ones to work.
If you go back and if you go watching watch back like Harry Potter. Can you
yes, I'm a big fan of Gryffindor.
I'm in Gryffindor. Yeah.
I didn't know he was in the war. Wow.
He was another character before he was Colonel Potter, right?
Yeah.
He was a general. That was great.
He was that wacky general.
Yeah.
The general flipped at dawn.
Yep.
I actually prefer Harry Morgan to McLean Stevenson. I thought that
I do too.
I love that. I love the Colonel Potter more than I did.
Well, they made him more lovable.
Distinct characters. I mean, I love
and the direction of the show. And the direction of the show changed too.
Yeah.
So, but no, I hear you, man. It's awesome. Speaking of Harry Potter, and I mean Harry Morgan. I've been watching at literally 4:30 in the morning and 5:30 because ever since I was working the graveyard shift doing news radio, my sleep's all over the place, and it still hasn't changed. So sometimes I'll wake up and they show 2 episodes of Dragnet at 4:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. And man, I'm telling you, I love Harry Morgan on Dragnet. Joe. It's so great, and he really is the comic relief on that show, and it's so hilarious. There's a great episode that it's them hanging out at Harry Morgan's house as bachelors. Come on, Joe, my wife's out of town. We'll have a great time. and they play cards with like 2 of his neighbors.
He's always trying to lead Joe down the wrong path. Hey, come on over to my house. Hey, we'll get some hookers and some blow.
Exactly. It's hilarious. Seriously, no, he's great. And he was in the Tom Hanks Dan Aykroyd movie.
Yep.
Reprising his character.
Dan Aykroyd for that movie, watch back. He is a perfect Joe Friday in that movie. That movie's awful. It's horrible. Yes. But he's a perfect Joe Friday in that movie.
It's weird. He has probably the simplest way to put it is he's got a police fetish.
Yeah,
anything
Dan Aykroyd,
related fascinates him. He has like this massive badge collection, all of this. So anything police related, Dan Aykroyd is just crazy about.
That's funny. Gabe Hardman and Andy Parks and I are massive. The 3 of us, massive Jack Webb, fanatics. We're fans, but we're fascinated by his bizarre career. And he was this weird, ultra-conservative, but also massive jazz hound, and was married to Julie London, who was this great 50s jazz singer who also was on Emergency. Yeah. And she and her husband, Bobby Troop, they both were actors on Emergency. Bobby Troop wrote Get Your Kicks on Route 66, the great Nat King Cole song. And Webb made a bunch of weird movies and comedies in between the black and white Dragnet and the color version of Dragnet, because there were several years in between where he wasn't doing that. And those movies are weird and interesting, and he had an amazing radio career as well, pre-Dragnet.
Didn't he also create or co-create Adam 12 and Emergency and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, he was a very successful TV producer, absolutely. And Stephen Cannell, the A-Team and Greatest American Hero and all that stuff, cut his teeth writing Adam 12. And really
right.
a lot from Jack Webb. Yeah. So
I used
there
to
you
love
go.
that as a kid. Adam 12 and Emergency both. I'd watch
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I still watch them every afternoon, almost.
yeah. They're on Cozy, Universal's digital channel, along with the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman. And lots of the. Not really sure why.
One of those channels over during Christmas time had a movie called Santa Claus versus the Martians on, which featured a Jamie Farr lookalike as one of the.
I heard about this controversy. Right, people were wondering if it was him or not. Right.
I like how I know it is. It's a controversy. Apparently, I wasn't aware there was such a controversy, but people are saying there's a debate. Is that Jamie Farr or is it not? Jamie Farr himself denies that he's in that movie, but people are saying, "Wow, it really looks like him." Some guy out there did a comparison side by side of the guy from the movie and Jamie Farr, and he's like, as you can see from the curvature of his nose, this is clearly not Jamie Farr. And he gets really in detail about the details of their faces and everything. So apparently it's not Jamie Farr. I forget the actor's name. I hope he'll forgive me, but I can't remember the actual actor's name. But there you go. Santa Claus versus the Martians. Terrible movie.
Yeah, I saw that on Mystery Science Theater a long time ago when I was a kid. They did that one.
You guys were speaking about fetishes and fascinations, like the badge police fetish that the Aykroyd has. I was watching the new game show, which I guess is based off an old game show, The Chase. Have you heard about this? It just started, and they have players playing against the 3 top winners from Jeopardy ever, like Ken Jennings and the other 2 guys, and they were asking, like you play against them. And Ken Jennings, like, it fascinates me. He was like, he didn't know the answer to some things, but he's like, well, the other 2 are derivative of English subtext. So I went with the third answer because that seemed more French to me because it was like a French leading question. And I'm like, who has a thought process like that? Like, I'm watching this thing and I'm going, B. Because, I don't know, it sounds cool. And this guy's doing all this, like, analyzing in his head, and it was fascinating me. I don't know if it fascinates anybody else. But anyway, the other thought I had was that we've been doing this for 11 years. You said, Skoke, 11 years? I am amazed that, like, there are 3 people out there at any time listening to us. It's, like, astounding to me.
All right.
11.
I was one. I don't know who the other 2
Yeah,
are. But...
that was me.
Mario and Wayne.
Gigantic Jeff.
Okay.
Mike Cooper and Gigantic Jeff, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know what? We have a new listener and viewer. I have to mention. I can't let another minute go by without mentioning my brother, Tom Campobasso, is a new listener of this podcast. And he came across it just on his own, not even from me. He was aware.
He just friended me on Facebook. I'm not accepting his friendship.
Wait 68 weeks.
Wait 68 weeks. That's the custom. That's how it works on the Oh Yeah podcast. But he's been listening. He told me about it one time. He's like, yeah, I was listening to your podcast. I couldn't stop. All of a sudden it was 2 a.m. I'm still listening to you guys talking. And he goes, he says to me, he goes, you know stuff. You really do. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you. That's nice. And I go, what, you say no stuff. What was it? What were we talking about? He goes, Tony Danza. That sounds about right. Yeah. So yes, welcome to Tom.
Welcome, Tom.
Welcome.
Yeah,
now, let me ask you, because he's not here. You said that he found. Ooh, there's a close up right there. You said he found it on his own. How did he find this? Like, did he know you were doing one, or?
He was aware that I was doing the podcast, and of course I mentioned it to my family and him and about you guys and how we were doing this podcast, pretty much every week since March. But I don't think he'd actually went and sought it out and listened to it. And he just
casually found it or something?
Yeah, or he might have, or it just popped into his head, like, oh yeah, maybe I'll listen to this. Now he's over there watching Artie's show. He's picking up all the lingo from Artie's famous cartoonist show, and so he's a fan now. I'm pleased to have him here. I wonder he may be watching right now.
So
I hope so.
So Skoke, in typical social media fashion, when you friend somebody new, what do? You kind of stalk their page a little bit, and you start, let me see their pictures, and if I recall correctly, I saw a picture of your brother as like the guy who's delivering pizzas from Home Alone. Is that the same guy?
That's true. That's my brother. For Halloween one year, my brother dressed up as the pizza guy from Home Alone. And I posted that picture because I met the pizza guy from Home Alone at one of these conventions. I think it was Wizard World Chicago one year. I guess his name is Danny, and he lives around here somewhere, around Chicago. He just happened to be at Wizard World as a fan walking around, and he was dressed like a wrestler, like 80s WWF style gold and scarves and everything. And he walked right by me, and we locked eyes for a little too long, and he strolled over to me, and I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. He looks famous, but I don't know who he is. And he goes, hi. I'm like, hey. He goes, do you know who I am? I'm like, I can't place you. And he goes, did we work together on something? And I'm like, I don't know, because Andy, I do some acting stuff here and there, short films and stuff. And I thought, well, maybe that's what it's from. And he goes, did you work on Home Alone? I'm like, no. He goes, oh, well, I'm the pizza guy from Home Alone. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. My brother dressed up as you for Halloween. Huh? Weird. And then he ended the conversation. He's like, are you single? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm heterosexual. I don't know.
and then at that exact moment, he turned to the guy next to Skoke, and he's like, "Hey, we work together." We work together. I was at Home Alone.
We had all just gotten our picture taken with Carrie Fisher, so Danny just went down the line to each guy and kept asking and kept bringing that up. Yeah.
Do you want to be Rough the Animal tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
He went up to Carrie Fisher's dog. Hey, have we worked on something together?
Were you in Home Alone, Carrie?
We might have been in Home Alone. Yeah, but there you go. That's Danny. Yeah, the pizza guy from Home Alone. So that's where that's from.
In my stalking, I also saw you had a picture with John Francis Delaney, and I'm very jealous. I love that guy.
Yes, his name is John Francis Daly. He's in a show called Freaks and Geeks.
I love him so much I can't pronounce his name.
He was on that show Bones for a while, and actually we did work together.
Dr. McCoy?
Dr. McCoy, oh, that'd be good. I'd watch that. But yeah, we did. He was filming an independent film around northern Illinois area, and I was an extra in it. He was the star, so that's our connection. That's why I had a picture with him.
Do you keep in touch?
We do not. Although he wrote the Spider-Man movie, didn't he? One of the recent ones. John Francis Daly and his writing partner, I think, wrote Spider-Man: Far From Home.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
So he's doing well. Good for him.
Really?
Well, he only rode your coattails to get there.
Absolutely. He rode the coattails of high school jock number 5. That was me, which is ironic because I was like 5 feet in high school, weighed about 88 pounds, and there's no way I would have been on the football team, but that's what I played in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, because you have range. That's why.
Yeah,
I have great range.
Oh.
Yes.
Skoke, don't you have a similar story to the pizza guy, but it's at New York Comic Con with Santa?
I met Santa at New York Comic Con 2 years ago. That was great. I was roaming the floor, and there he was. And he said, "What did he say to me, Scoot? I can't remember."
He hit on you, kind of too.
Yeah, he kind of hit on me.
Carry you home in my bag.
Have you been naughty or nice? Do you want to be naughty?
He said something like,
boy.
yeah, there was a line of
Want to be my
questioning.
elf?
I can't remember what he said exactly, but there was
You're
a
like
line of
Winnie
questioning.
Pooh, Skoke.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that was going, but yeah,
Hello there. You were saying him. You were getting everyone to say that with you.
that's
And he
right.
said it, and it was like he like looked at you or something, like he moved in on you.
Yeah, and then after the camera was off, I started to walk away, and he's like, "So, where are you from?" I'm like, "Thanks for shooting the video with me, but I gotta go." I was going around to all the Obi-Wan Kenobis I saw at the convention, and I was asking them to say hello there with me. And I saw Santa, and I thought, it'd be funny to get him doing the hello there. So yeah, we did the video, and I was like, "Thanks so much." And I was, "I'll see you later." He's like, "So, where are you from?" I'm like, Santa,
I'm from the South Pole. You're from the North Pole. It's never going to work.
It's never going to work. We're not meant to be. What about Mrs. Claus? I don't know. What's going on here?
Andy, one of the things we talk about on here, obviously, is because we do so many shows that we talk about the weird. What's the weirdest show story or celebrity encounter you've ever had? Because we haven't heard yours yet.
Let's hear it.
God, there's so many. I've been doing conventions since 1982.
Wow.
But I think, with all these shows, you can't help but run into celebrities one way or another. Either you go to their table or you literally cross paths with them.
Sometimes you almost kill them. It's accidents. Happen.
Do you guys know Carolyn Monroe from the Hammer horror films?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this was years ago at Atlanta Fantasy Fair, which was the precursor to Dragon Con. I got into an elevator and there was Carolyn Monroe in like the tightest clothes possible, these leftover 70s hot chick sunglasses. And she just stared at me the whole time like, "You don't know who I am. You don't know who I am. Don't bother me. Don't, and the whole time, my little fanboy heart, sure, is just throbbing.
Whoa!
Your heart was.
God, it's Carolyn Monroe.
Hello there.
Throbbing.
Hello there.
If you guys don't know, she's lovely.
Have we worked together? Is that your first line?
If just so you guys know, Carolyn Monroe was the basis for the character Talia al Ghul in Neil Adams's art.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Lee was Ra's al Ghul. Was Talia al Ghul.
Yep. No, honestly, guys, look her up online. She's amazing. Isn't she in the Sinbad movie?
Yes.
Yeah. 7 Voyages of Sinbad. Yeah.
And she was in.
That's why I didn't make it paint.
She's in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Right.
She's a Bond girl briefly.
Yes.
He blows her up. She's in the film for like 3 minutes and has 2 or 3 lines and he blows her up.
That's another one that Skoke and I have been watching the Trip movies with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon and cracking the codes on various voices that they imitate throughout those movies.
And they do Roger Moore in those movies.
All right, so which one of you has learned the Roger Moore voice?
Johnny?
Still talk about TD. Shaking that still. And also they do like, "Come now, Goldfinger, you clearly owe." He likes to, they do a whole bit about how as he's drinking from a brandy snifter, you can't understand the words he's saying and stuff, and it's like, "Oh, well, you clearly are doing this."
Roger Moore's best Bond ever was Cannonball Run.
Which one?
Oh, yeah.
Cannonball Run, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mother.
Seymour. His Jewish mother, Seymour.
Isn't Jamie Farr in that?
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
He plays the Sheik.
And so is it was the American film debut of Jackie Chan.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke no English in that film.
Nope.
None whatsoever.
And he looks 12.
And
He does.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
the reason I knew about that movie, Farrah was in that movie. Yeah.
Mr. Foyt.
And
Tony
Dom
Danza.
Yeah, baby.
Captain
I'm like,
Chaos.
turn the Cannonball Run. I'm kind of confused. Can we make it Tony's Run? Is that possible?
Sounds like Dom DeLuise is on Andy's list.
Oh yeah.
You know what always got me about those movies, like because you would watch them every once in a while, but then they were one of the first movies to have the bloopers in the credits and stuff like that, and
When Burt Reynolds constantly getting
Burt
slapped.
Reynolds would smack the shit out of Dom DeLuise, and that was not like it was not like a little tap or anything. He would smack Dom DeLuise, man. You'd hear that.
They were so
And
drunk.
DeLuise knew it was coming. He'd be like, no.
Yeah.
My favorite Burt and Dom movie is The End, where Bert's trying to kill himself.
The End is such a great flick. Oh, so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Andy.
In a weird when they re-released Star Wars, because in the local theater in my neighborhood, they would re-release Star Wars every couple of years. I think it was right before Jedi. They re-released it again like 6 months before, and they would show it as part of a matinee every Saturday morning. But it was always a double feature with something else. So the first time I saw Cannonball Run, it was a double feature with Star Wars. How weird is that?
It is weird.
They go together.
Andy,
That's a weird double feature.
It was
double feature.
It was Star Wars and whatever else they wanted to push. It was Star Wars and then Star Wars.
I've only seen one double feature in my life because they didn't have them up like where we grew up here. And I was in Florida when I was dating my wife. We were visiting her grandparents and her parents, and I went to go see Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and Dream Team with Michael Keaton.
Those go together.
Yeah, and I was like, I thought this was the weirdest double feature, but all right, I'm in.
I saw one. We got to see if you went to a certain showing of Sean Connery's Never Say Never Again, then you got to see Dawn of the Dead for free.
Oh.
It was the weirdest double feature I could think of. But
my weirdest double feature was the Heavy Metal movie.
Yeah.
Along with Victory, the soccer movie with bloody Michael Caine and Stallone.
And Pele. Yeah.
With Michael Caine.
That's right. Look, I'm not going to play your bloody game. Look, Ash, get back in the goal and score some points for the Americans.
And then he would go over to the sideline. What would he drink on the sideline? What would he drink on the sideline? A Verna Branca?
Verna Branca. That's right. From Batman, absolutely.
And who would he date? Who was his girlfriend? Vera Farmiga, I believe. That was his girlfriend.
Franco and I did a podcast one day with Michael Caine as the third guest the whole time before we did these video podcasts. It was just the audio, and Michael Caine was on there the whole episode. And we reviewed a movie, didn't we?
Oh, that's right. We did, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Caine reviewed the movie with us.
So I learned how to do
the real Michael Caine?
No, it was Johnny.
Oh.
But he never broke character. He stayed Michael Caine the whole episode. It was like 2 hours long.
Look, I don't bloody like it. Right. He's the man. Oh, you got to love Michael Caine. And that's watching them do Michael Caine, Rob Brydon, and Steve Coogan. It's very deceptive because, Rob Brydon right away does a letter perfect Michael Caine. And then all of a sudden, Steve Coogan just kind of creeps into it. And it's like, Michael Caine speaks very carefully. When he gets loudly, he gets very loudly indeed. And it's like, wow.
You know what we have to do? I believe that there's, he did a video, in a how to act video that I saw. Yeah, I saw a snippet of it. That would be great to watch and make fun of because he goes into you have to look at the camera like this, and he goes into all these details. That would be great to watch.
There's a great and I think I've talked about it before on the podcast. I don't remember the name of it, but it's on Amazon Prime. There's this amazing documentary about London in the 60s, swinging London. And he is the narrator and one of the talking heads, but they also have Paul McCartney and Joan Collins and all these great celebrities about what it was like being in London when London was really happening. And it's fantastic. It's so cool. And just what life was like. And they have archival footage of Caine walking around and tooling around London, plus him in modern day. And it really is. It's just absolutely interesting. And I mean, just because in the same way that, the London scene was happening at the same time that San Francisco was happening in the late 60s, Summer of Love, New York was happening in the 60s, and all these great international cities were like totally the place to be, and such completely different happenings because of their surroundings and people. So again, as a big pop culture nerd, I love it. It's fantastic.
All right. Well, since we're on the subject, then let's go around the horn. Favorite Michael Caine movie? Go, Skoke.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, it's a good one. Andy?
Oh, that's hard to top. I'll say Jaws 4.
Oh, Jaws 4. Johnny's going to pick one from the 60s. Go, Johnny.
I am Get Carter, the crime movie he made.
The original one, not the one with Stallone?
Yeah, well, that's so funny because literally every time I'm watching cable, I'll see on the program guide, and it's like, oh, it's Get Carter. Oh, it's the Stallone.
Oh, Stallone one. Megan.
As a child or as a young teen, I had a very weird obsession with Poseidon Adventure 2.
Yeah, he's done some great movies, hasn't he? That's what I want to bring this up. Scott, Scoot, go for it.
I'll say Secondhand Lions because I thought that movie was going to suck, and then I liked it.
All right, mine. You ready for mine?
Yep.
I think I have the title correct. Blame It on Rio with Demi Moore. Yeah. Yeah.
And
there was a topless beach scene there. Yeah.
Is it Cynthia Gibb?
No. It's I forget. I think her name is Michelle something.
Mike Caine is topless, right?
Everybody's topless.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
But I think it was Demi Moore's first film as well.
Yeah.
So she's the best friend of the girl.
Seriously, I would say Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
That is a great movie.
Yeah.
Is that good? I've always wanted to see that.
It is hysterical. You got directed by Frank Oz from. So you got a Muppet connection right there.
Yeah.
And originally called Bedtime Story with Marlon Brando and David Niven in the Steve Martin and Michael Caine roles. And Shirley Jones is the Glenn Headley woman that they're trying to seduce.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's fun to watch that because it's not Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. It's one of those rare times that the remake is better than the original movie. But Bedtime Story is really interesting to watch, knowing that the remake is infinitely funnier.
Interesting.
So that's a great movie. No, I by the way, also everybody loves Clint Eastwood's movie Gran Torino.
Yeah,
where he's an old man badass.
I never saw it.
It's a great movie.
I love it.
Kane made one similar called Harry Brown, where he's a senior citizen, where his neighborhood is being overrun by gang guys and stuff, and he totally goes badass, and it's fantastic. It's amazing. Really, really great movie that he made within the last 10 or 15 years.
Bruce Willis did that too. He remade Death Wish.
Was that good?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You know the Die Hard commercial they just made for Die Hard batteries? That was
really
better.
good.
Yeah, that was better.
That was actually really good. And if I had to list my favorite Die Hard movies in order, that might be ahead of a couple of feature films.
Sure.
Oh.
That's like when they did the American Express commercial with Richard Dean Anderson as MacGyver.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Well, they used to have a bunch of different people do the American Express commercial, right?
Yeah.
Never leave home without it. Yeah.
It was the whole, a plane ticket to England, $1,200, such and such, priceless. But yeah, he's in a big semi truck, and there are explosions behind him, and he's checking his rear.
I do remember that. Yeah. Okay.
Stuff. Oh my God, it's MacGyver.
There's a picture of him on the internet with his car's broken down and he's by the side of the road, and someone snapped a picture, and it's like What if we come to where MacGyver can't fix his own car? Or something like that? I feel so bad for the guy. I'm like, oh man.
Have you seen him? Have you seen him lately? He's
porked out.
He's not aged well.
He got big.
He got
Judy got big. Exactly.
Yeah. Judy got big. Yeah.
He was at one of our shows. I was so excited to meet him because I was a huge MacGyver kid, and I could not wait. And I literally walked to the autographing, and I was like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And so he says, "That's him right there." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah, but he's still Richard Dean Anderson. He's
no,
great.
I didn't pull the trigger on it. I couldn't do it.
Oh, man.
I was like,
Wow.
I'm not taking a picture with this guy. It doesn't even look like him. I'm gonna look at the picture and be like, who is this fat old man?
But,
Taking a picture with another fat old man.
Wow.
Santa Claus.
I love watching panels from conventions online, and I've seen ones of him from like the last 5 or 6 years. He's got all the stories, man. He's great. And I'm a massive MacGyver was fine. I loved Jack O'Neill on Stargate. I'm a massive Stargate guy.
I've never seen an
I
episode.
gotta watch Stargate, but things that pop into my head when we're doing these things. Wasn't he on Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, the TV show?
I have no idea. Oh, that's hilarious. We got to look that up.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah. See, the things that pop into my head. See this.
Hey, there was a show.
That was the point of my post today about Dracula. That's the way my brain works. It's constantly it's like a ping pong machine in there. It's like constantly happening. Anyway, I digress.
Looking it up.
Yeah, it's weird when you see a celebrity. We have this locked image in our head of what the celebrity is from our favorite thing or whatever, and then when you see him, I don't know if you guys have seen Shelley Duvall lately. I never knew olive oil could get fat.
Oh,
that's too bad.
Diane Chambers from Cheers. I never knew Diane could get fat.
Right.
These people were known for being skinny little sticks.
Right.
And they're almost unrecognizable as who they were. But
people have the same thing from high school when they see me again.
1982 for Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. And yes, indeed, number one on the call sheet, Richard Dean Anderson.
See?
Wow.
I know. If you asked me, if you fell over and needed a tracheotomy, which I'm sure I went over at some point how to do, I cannot for the life of me remember it. You would die, but I would be able to tell you that Richard Dean Anderson was in Seven Brides for Seven Brothers for 1 or 2 seasons.
1 season.
See, I could do a tracheotomy because I remember how
from MASH.
From MASH.
I was just about to say the same thing. I can do it from MASH with a pen. With a pen, that's how I could do it.
Mulcahy Radar.
All right. Well, the next time we're together, you guys are doing one on Skoke because I want to see if you can actually do it.
Oh yeah! I love Gary Berghoff in that one. Well, I've got a phone. Father, that's exactly what's supposed to happen on MASH.
Hey, kiddo.
I met Father Mulcahy. He had a convention. Also a lovely human being. He was one of those old timers who would come to the convention in suit and tie. Very, very, very proper, very professional.
Do you know who I'm never going to meet? Tanya Roberts. She passed away. She did pass away, and then she didn't, and then she did. Yeah. 2021 is off to a bad start when celebrities are dying twice.
Yeah.
Same celebrity. Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah,
Sorry, Andy, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, the 7-day trial of 2021 was terrible.
We want to return it.
Of all the cons and everything that we've been to, we were talking about celebrity stories. Who is the one out of the blue celebrity that you were totally starstruck with?
Danny, the pizza guy from Home Alone.
It's like I've met Shatner, and I've met Adam West, and I've met all these amazing icons, and the one that blew me away, the one where I was speechless and I pointed at him and couldn't think of anything to say, was Gary Sandy from WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
And his hair was exactly the same.
Oh, that's great.
Did he get
me,
big?
It was
For
at
me,
a
it's Leonard
distiller in
Nimoy.
New Jersey, and he hooked
I mean,
up with
Lonnie
Nova.
Anderson. Oh.
Nova from Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Harrison.
Harrison.
Or Harrison, excuse me.
Linda Harrison. Yeah,
Linda
they
Hamilton, of
were
course.
all over each other all weekend.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, for me it was Nimoy.
You still got it. It was Nimoy?
Yeah, and also having done sports talk radio for 16 years and meeting so many great athletes, I kind of was able to, by the time I got into the nerd sphere, be able to compartmentalize, like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm meeting this person, and put it in the back of my head and at least give the veneer of, like, hey, nice to meet you or whatever. And I, at one of Brother Bear's FX cons, they weren't sure if they needed someone to moderate Leonard Nimoy's panel or just introduce him. And ultimately, it was just to introduce him. And Star Trek '09, the JJ movie, had just come out. He was in Fringe as William Bell.
Bell,
So I was able to come up with a decent intro. And, I can't remember what I said, but he came out, great applause, shook my hand, and he's like, nicely done, son. And he's so tall. And I'm just like, okay, I gotta get off stage. That, and of course, as I've said before, Avery Brooks, I was totally cool with. I tried to buy him a drink, and he became Ben Sisko. And I've told this story a million times on the podcast, but I'm doing it for Andy's sake. Puts his hand on my shoulder, and he's like, John, you don't have to buy me a drink. We're having a lovely conversation. And that's when I lost all composure. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go now. It was really nice meeting you. And I really was like,
I'm gonna go
I don't want to
change my
talk to you anymore. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't really get starstruck. It's one of those things that, like, I've always been able to not shut up, or shut up or not, just talk. But when I was introduced to Stan Lee, I was a little bit like, whoa, like, it's Stan Lee. I still was able to form sentences and talk to him and have a great conversation. And one of my favorite pictures ever was taken by a lovely man named Bruce at Baltimore Con, when Art and I were talking to him and we're laughing and he snapped that great picture. It's one of my favorite pictures.
That was a good
But yeah, when because I had met him once before briefly, but then this time I really got to talk to him, and I was like, holy crap, I'm talking to Stan Lee. Like, this is like, in the back of my head, but I was able to carry on a conversation, make him laugh, which made my day. But that's the only one that really got me where I was like, Stan Lee type thing. But I've talked to a bunch of celebrities, and it's never really flustered me.
Franco, didn't Stan look at you and Art and go, wow, you guys are bigger than the Hulk or something like that?
Well, you guys are like the Hulk. There's two of you. One is red and one is green. But, he didn't want to talk to us, like, because we were introduced, like, these guys, want to meet you, and I said, I just wanted to thank you because I owe you part of my career because of you. You really inspired me, and I work for DC Comics now. And the minute he heard DC Comics, he turned around and ignored us, and I was like, oh man, I think I offended him. And then, the guy's like, no, these guys really want to meet you. And he goes, all right, why am I talking to these guys again? And I said, well, sir, if it makes you feel any better, I buy all my Marvel comics, but since I work for DC, I get those comped, but I buy my Marvel comics. And he looked at me, put his hand on my shoulder. He goes, I knew I liked you, kid. And then he goes, look at you. You two are like the Hulk. You guys are like two Hulks. I don't need any bodyguards with you guys around. That's what he said.
He's like, you should play basketball. That's what he said to you.
Yeah. That, by the way, is one of my least favorite things anybody says to me because of my height all the time. So my immediate response to that is, boy, did you ever play basketball? I always say, no. Did you ever play miniature golf? That's my immediate go-to.
Zing.
Or when you're in the supermarket and people say, oh, could you get that off the top shelf? Only if you could get that off the bottom shelf for me. I always come back with that.
I want to point out Stuart Greenberg says Jonathan Harris was amazing. And that gives me the opportunity to say, my dear boy.
Oh, dear.
Exactly. I love doing the Dr. Smith voice. I can't help it. My dear boy, your pants are incredibly tight. Young William.
Oh, dear. Look at that girl.
Scoot, do you have a starstruck moment?
Well, like Franco said, now I don't really get starstruck when I see these celebrities at the shows. I think because I'm so used to seeing all of them. But when I was 11 years old and I was at the Kroger Classic, LPGA Kroger Classic, hosted by Jamie Farr with my dad. We walked around the corner and I was eating a hot dog and Jamie Farr was there. He's like, "Oh, hey guys." And he goes, "How's that hot dog, fella?" And I was just like, "Pretty good." And then that was it. Jamie Farr.
That was Jamie Farr trying to.
Yeah, he was the host of the LPGA Kroger Classic in Toledo for years. So the women's golf tournament, and Jamie Farr was the big celebrity.
Well, Geck is a clinger, and then finally they got mad.
Yeah. He did get like other celebrities to come. So I was like 11, and I wanted to go because Charles Barkley was there, and he was like super big, like sports celebrity then, and he sucked at golf, which was funny. But Jamie Farr is the one that we ran into, and my dad loved MASH, so that was kind of cool. Just walking around.
Skoke?
Yes. Well, this was not at a con, but I met Conan O'Brien once, but I don't think it really counts as a meeting because I couldn't get a word out. I was just like, I love Conan, and I went to one of his live shows in Chicago here at the Chicago Theater, and he came out after the show and was getting ready to hop on his bus to leave. And he was greeting fans who were standing outside waiting for him. I figured he'd come out, and say hello to everybody. So I went over there and I ended up getting a picture with him, but I don't even remember what I said to the guy because I was just like, I can't believe that's him. He's right here. I love Conan. So that'd be mine.
That would be cool.
All right. I'd say Mike for last because he's met by far everybody.
I haven't met a ton of celebrities. Even before I got into the industry, I was always a guy who was into the celebrity stuff. I would go to a lot of the chiller theater things and the B-movie stuff. And, I always loved old TV shows. I was never really starstruck with those guys. I have three examples of my being Star Trek in my whole life. One, when I met George Perez for the first time, I literally cried in front of the man, and my wife had to step in and like, hold on, he's very excited to meet you. You don't understand what this is, which is like crazy now because I'm all these years later, decades and decades later, I'm friends with George Perez. But at that time it was just like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So I cried. I got really really choked up when I met Carolyn Grimes from It's a Wonderful Life, because that's one of my favorite movies of all times.
Is that Zuzu?
Yeah, it's Zuzu.
Zuzu's pedals.
And like, she's one of the few people who was still alive from that movie. Yeah. And just to be able to talk with her and connect with somebody that was actually in that movie, like I just stuttered like an idiot.
Did you make her say the line? Daddy, Daddy, when the bell rings, an angel gets us. Did you make her say it?
I did not make her say it.
I would have forced her. Say the line.
Say the line. Do it. Do you want me to
have your pedals? I would have thrown rose petals at her too when she said it. But
and when I was a kid, maybe like 12 or 13, I think I've told the story. I literally physically ran into Sammy Davis Jr. in an elevator in
yeah. Hey Johnny, say an impression.
Hey man.
And Q Johnny. and I was stuck
enemy tackling me, man.
Was it you that put up a sign? Oh, sorry, Andy. Go ahead.
I was just asking which eye did he look at him with?
I was just gonna say that. I was Skoke. Didn't you put up a picture of Sammy Davis Jr. somewhere? And was it in a chat or something like that? And I said, "Which eye is he looking at you with?" or something.
You said exactly that. Yes, it was a video. I watched the American Masters documentary about Sammy, and there was a part in there where he actually does say, "Hey, man," and that's what I sent to you guys. I took the video from the TV. He's going. So I said to him, "Hey, man," and that was the whole clip.
That's good stuff.
Sammy's amazing.
All right.
He's great. He does good impressions, Sammy. He does a great Jimmy Stewart. Sammy Davis does. I had no idea. I've no idea Sammy Davis did impressions. He's good.
Yeah. No, he was literally multi-talented. He could do it all.
And he could take a hit.
Yeah,
For real?
because Mike almost killed him. Yeah.
I did almost kill him.
Wow.
I did almost knock him to the ground. And ironically, not the only celebrity I've knocked to the ground. So I knocked over Katie Holmes once too. Before Dawson's Creek, Katie Holmes. So
Also from Toledo.
pre Tom Cruise, Katie Holmes. I knocked her to the ground. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. If you're watching, Katie, I'm sorry.
She probably is.
Very nice, Stuart. Very cool. He sang with Eartha Kitt. I, of course, was kissed by Rita Moreno as a child, 17.
Rita Moreno.
Grabbed my head and
Stuart-
kissed me.
Did Stewart have sex with Eartha Kitt in an airplane bathroom like Chevy Chase did?
What's that from? Is that real life?
Community.
Does he claim that he had sex with Eartha Kitt?
In Community is
Community.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw
I
it
would
in
doubt
Community.
Chevy
Okay.
Chase does too. But.
Did I tell the Sean Connery story on the pod?
Tell it.
You have to be more
Okay.
specific.
Sean Connery was in this charity golfing event with a bunch of serious high rollers. Like
Toledo?
I think
like
so.
you had to like spend at least $100,000 to be part of this, and so doctors, lawyers, whatever, and played a round of golf with him. Banquet afterwards, everyone's hanging out, and everyone's getting drunk, and this one guy consistently keeps asking Connery, "Come on, Sean, you're a great celebrity. Who was like your weirdest celebrity sex, encounter?" And Sean kept ignoring him. "Hey, come on, Sean, you're holding out on us. Tell us, come on." So finally, at the end of the day, he's shaking hands with everybody, and he gets to the guy and he says, "Petula Clark in the ass. All right."
Oh, man. Oh.
He did her downtown.
Downtown, exactly, man.
On that note, everyone, since we've reached the end, thank
Yes,
you
we're
for
at the
coming.
2-hour mark.
Thank you for coming, because since that was the end. Thank you, Andy, for coming on. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Andy.
Very
Um,
funny stuff.
Miss you, Andy. Miss you.
I'm not gonna thank any of these other guys because they're
There's no
them.
point.
Yeah. So
What are we
But,
starting the pod yet?
yeah,
Yeah.
sure. But we're gonna go because I'm gonna go to bed. So
Absolutely, man. No,
thank
it's
you-
time to
thank you
go.
for showing up. Yeah.
Everybody, good job. Thank you very much. Thanks for hanging. We will reconvene very soon. But until
Follow us when
then,
you see us.
follow us
I
when you
like
see
Pink
us.
very much, Lois.
I like Pink very much, Lois.
I like Pink very much, Lois.
I like Pink very much, Lois.
Yes,
Indeed.
Juno says thank you.
And Juno's butt.
She's-
We've seen a lot of that
She's
tonight.
Yes.
asleep in my sleeve.
All
Oh,
the best to
there's-
Juno's.
There's the cat.
Juno's butt is very pink much, Lois.
Indeed. All right, take it easy, everybody. Thanks a lot for
All right.
watching. Bye-bye.
Good.
Change my picture.